Hello and welcome to this Tuesday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here's some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. Eastmont School District's Community Facility Study Committee recommended last night that the district try to pass another school construction bond. The latest annual report from the Chelan County Coroner's Office shows a decline last year in the number of deaths related to drug overdoses compared to 2024. Expect rain showers, cooler temperatures, and very windy weather conditions for Wednesday. I'll have your full local weather forecast coming up. Wenatchee police responded Monday afternoon to reports of a man armed with a gun on the 1000 block of Fuller Street in Wenatchee, arresting a 19-year-old man in the process who police say shot into the air one time. There were no injuries. The suspect, whose identity has not been released by police, was taken into custody without incident and transported to Central Washington Hospital. Witnesses and callers reported the man was possibly having a medical or mental health crisis. Police said that a criminal investigation and any potential charges are pending while the man receives any necessary treatment. The Wenatchee City Council has scheduled a roundtable discussion on Thursday to help discuss the banner application process that ended up excluding Pride banners that would normally be displayed in June. According to Interim City Administrator Edgar Reinfeld, the city began work in October on its own new application, given that the old process was not specific enough and would need to be updated. A complication around North Central Washington Equity Alliance's application for the Pride banners delayed the complete processing of their application in March, and another organization applied for banner display in their stead a little over 24 hours later. The roundtable discussion is scheduled for 4:30 p.m. before the start of the regularly scheduled City Council meeting at 5:15 p.m. at Wenatchee City Hall. Eastmont School District's Community Facility Study Committee recommended last night that the district try to pass another school construction bond. About 75 people were in attendance as the committee presented their decision inside the Cascade Elementary School cafeteria. In 2024, the district attempted 2 tries at passing a school construction bond to address aging facilities at 4 different elementary schools. Both attempts were unsuccessful and fell just under the needed 60% supermajority. The Facility Study Committee identified Cascade, Lee, and Kenroy elementary schools as facilities that a new bond would address due to their overcapacity and outdated building conditions. The board did not make a decision on whether to run another bond, though Vice Chair Megan Vibbert said they expect to have conversations about next steps in future meetings. A 23-year-old man was arrested in Moses Lake for allegedly hitting multiple parked cars while driving drunk early this morning. Moses Lake police say they responded to a traffic accident shortly after 12:30 a.m. at the intersection of North Clark Road and West Meridian Avenue. Police say a 2006 Chevy Silverado driven by Burley Nelson lost control after he failed to negotiate a turn and hit 2 parked cars. According to police, one of the parked cars pushed into another car, which then got pushed into a garage and struck another vehicle. Nelson allegedly fled the scene but was returned by a family member. He was booked into the Grant County Jail on suspicion of driving under the influence, first-degree malicious mischief, and 4 counts of hit and run. When we come back, Pybus Public Market is currently preparing for the annual Taste of Pybus fundraisers that supports its foundation. And East Wenatchee Police K-9, his handler, and another sergeant were all honored during the annual Washington State Narcotics Investigators Association conference last month. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
and you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Somewhere behind these doors is a family member, often alone, taking care of a loved one with Alzheimer's or some other disability, or providing care for a loved one who is not ill but only aging and no longer able to care for themselves. In the field of caregiving, this is the home front. For the home is where most Americans will live out their last days. Contact Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington for a variety of services including caregiving, meals, and medication help.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Pybus Public Market is currently preparing for the annual Taste of Pybus fundraiser that supports its foundation. The dinner, which will be held Thursday, will feature spring menu items from food tenants from inside the market, live music, art, a live auction, and community storytelling. Tickets are available at pybuspublicmarket.org for $125. NCWLIFE News spoke with the event's planners to learn more about it.
It's our fundraiser for the year to kind of raise money for what Pybus is, the foundation, and keeping this market going, and all the nonprofit givebacks that the foundation does.
We've been doing this for over 5 years, and I think what you can expect at the event, aside from amazing food from our tenants, is that we showcase a story, and we talk about how Pybus is woven into the fabric of this community and has been since the early 1940s.
We're going to have all the vendors here at Pybus kind of come together and show off what they're doing for their summer and spring menus this year.
We've done a partnership with the Humane Society. We have 2 puppies that we've named Mr. Pybus and Mr. Market, who will be making their debut appearance at Taste of Pybus. And then you're going to experience lovely music, beautiful art, and then just great community building. You can go to our social media, in our Instagram and in our Facebook bio. There's a link to purchase tickets. You can come down to the office and purchase tickets. And if you have any questions, you can just call us and we can guide you in that direction.
An East Wenatchee Police K-9, his handler, and another sergeant were all honored during the annual Washington State Narcotics Investigators Association conference last month. K-9 Maverick and Officer Jordan Conley earned K-9 of the Year for Maverick's 67 total deployments in 2025, 46 of which led to arrests. Maverick assisted outside agencies 23 times last year and was responsible for locating over 213 grams of methamphetamine and 326 grams of fentanyl. Sergeant Joshua Vernig earned the Detective of the Year award for several investigations, including an illegal marijuana grow where over 3,200 plants with a value of about $3 million were seized. East Wenatchee Police said Vernig was needed back in the patrol division, but said he displayed impressive investigation skills while in the drug task force. The latest annual report from the Chelan County Coroner's Office shows a decline last year in the number of deaths related to drug overdoses. Coroner Earl Crow says there were 22 drug-related deaths for the whole county in 2025. That's a drop from the 37 overdose fatalities the year before. Chelan County saw an increase in drug deaths, particularly from fentanyl, starting in 2019 and peaking in 2024. Last year, year, the county also saw 19 deaths by suicide, 16 of which involved a firearm, and 5 deaths by homicide, including the murders of 3 Decker sisters in June of 2025. Coming up next in tonight's feature story, we meet a Kashmir man who spent years shelving books in a Wenatchee elementary school library, all while quietly chasing a dream after hours. Rain and a wind advisory is in effect for Wednesday, with much cooler temperatures beyond that. I'll have your local weather details, and in sports, Kate Calvin checks in on Wenatchee tennis, plus some sad news from the world of Gonzaga basketball. The NCWLIFE Evening News continues after these messages.
A new video game, a movie, dinner with friends. There are a lot of things worth saving up for. Vapes aren't cheap, and buying pods over and over can stop you from affording things you want more. When it comes to your money, choose what matters. Choose you.
When life gets stressful, jumping into your passions can help you find your calm. Avoid vapes, which contain nicotine and can make feelings of anxiety and depression worse. When it comes to your mental health, choose what matters. Choose you.
Community is more than just a place. It's the people, stories, and connections we share. At the Wenatchee World, we're your neighbors, your storytellers, and your trusted voice. From uncovering the issues that matter most to celebrating the moments that bring us together. We deliver the stories that keep the community moving forward. The Wenatchee World, your community voice, here every day.
At Colonial Vista Senior Living, we believe life is meant to be lived fully. Our wellness programs inspire residents to stay strong, flexible, and confident every day. Here, curiosity is encouraged, friendships are nurtured, and every activity is an opportunity to connect, create, and enjoy life together. We invite you to experience the lifestyle at Colonial Vista Senior Living for yourself and discover why so many call our community home.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
In tonight's feature story, we meet a man who spent years shelving books in a Wenatchee elementary school library while quietly chasing a dream after hours. Now, Dan Gemeinhart, who lives in Kashmir, is a New York Times best-selling author whose stories have reached young readers around the world. But as he told the Wenatchee World, the work of writing still begins the same way it did years ago, with curiosity, persistence, and the courage to start with a blank page.
Like, I always loved books, always loved reading. So, I mean, kindergarten, I knew that I wanted to try to write books someday because I loved books and stories and reading so much. And so that goes way, way back. But then it was always just something I talked about and something I dreamed about for decades. And it wasn't until living in East Wenatchee and working at Mission View, and I was like 25 years old, and I said, okay, like, I've been dreaming about this for 20 years. And it's time to kind of put up or shut up. Like, I should give it a shot. And so that's when I started working in the nights and the evenings and the weekends and trying to make that dream happen. And then it took me a long time. I wrote several books that never got published because they weren't good enough. That was just like my learning process, figuring it out. Got a lot of rejections. But then I guess the second moment was, when I got that phone call, 2013, that a publisher wanted my first book. And it still didn't feel real. And it was amazing. One of the best days of my life, incredible, this childhood dream coming true. But even then, like, it still felt like, oh, like I'm just a guy who wrote this one book. And I guess it wasn't until maybe 3 or 4 books in, honestly, that I was like, this is actually something I'm doing. It's not just this weird little thing off to the side that I'm doing. This is kind of who I am right now. And so that was also kind of a big feeling. Like, writing a book is great, getting a book published is great, but like being an author, a full-time author as your job, is a whole different thing. I always thought that being an author, I picture myself just writing. If you're a writer, you write. And that honestly is less than half my day. because being a writer is part of the job, but being an author is the other part of the job. And the author is doing stuff like this, and doing interviews, and doing podcasts, and doing travel, and booking travel, and sending emails, and all that stuff that takes to promote your books and to make a living at it is separate from the writing. And so honestly, I almost feel like I have less writing time now than I did when I was still a half-time teacher, because I wasn't doing all that author stuff. And so now a big part of my day, a big part of my life is the author stuff, not the writing stuff. And I have to kind of be careful to carve out time for the writing, otherwise it gets bumped to the side by all the being an author chores. I mean, no complaints. Like, it's great, it's really fun, it's challenging, it's different every day, but it's not exactly what I was expecting, and not exactly what I think a lot of people think being a writer is, if you're hoping to make a living at it. And I get ideas every day from all around me. I get ideas from podcasts I listen to, and shows I watch, and movies I see, and books I read, and conversations I have, and people I meet, and daydreams I have. Like, I just pay attention and say, oh, like, that's interesting, that's sad, that's scary, that could be part of a story, that could be a character, and just pay attention. Now, most of that stuff goes nowhere. If you see 1,000 things a day, but you write 1 book a year, that means most of it's nowhere, but you just keep paying attention. And so once you get that idea for a story, and you think, I think I want to write this story, then the real work begins and the real mess begins. And every writer has their own process. And there's some writers that are big outliners, and they've got a plan for everything they write. Before they write a word, they know how the story's going to go. And there's some authors who make it up as they go completely. And there's great, amazing authors in both groups. And I'm unfortunately in the second group, where I make it up as I go, for the most part, which is messy. So that means I go in the wrong direction, I make mistakes, and I'll realize, oh, like 8 chapters ago I went this way and I should have gone that way. So I have to delete those 8 chapters. There goes a month's work, and my rough drafts are garbage because I didn't have a plan, so it's all disorganized. And so I have to do a lot of revising and rewriting, which is a huge part of the process, more time than the rough draft writing. And for me, revising is not like fixing my spelling. That's the very, very last bit. It is big stuff. I change the beginning, change the ending, take out whole scenes, put in new scenes, take out characters, put in new characters, big stuff to take this mess that I wrote and try to turn it into something that someone else might actually want to read.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope your Tuesday was a good one. Another beautiful spring day all across North Central Washington. How about this beautiful shot from our Bear Mountain Tower camera up around Chelan, and just a calm lake there today with just a few clouds out there, some filtered sunshine today. That lake, though, by the time we get into Wednesday, it is going to be white capping because we have a strong wind advisory. In fact, high wind advisory as we make our way into Wednesday. We are going to see sustained winds possibly up to 35 miles an hour with gusts 55 miles an hour, even locally up to 60 miles an hour, and that will be tomorrow afternoon. We could see some scattered tree damage, some power outages tomorrow, and difficulty driving, especially the farmers that just work their fields. If you're driving along I-90, you could see some very low visibility, that is, from Moses Lake through Ritzville and into Sprague, that part of I-90. So if you're traveling tomorrow, we could see winds in Wenatchee 45 to 50 miles an hour. Keep that in mind. And as we make our way past Wednesday, I think we'll get a little bit of a break from the wind on Thursday. Still a little bit breezy, but I don't think the winds will come up until the evening hours on Thursday. We're going to stay cool too, around 70 tomorrow, upper 60s on Thursday. We'll stay in the mid to upper 60s on Friday. And yeah, those breezy winds will be back Friday and once again into Saturday. And we'll get into all of that here in a little bit. High temperature today, unofficially. How about that? 85 degrees, 14 degrees above where we should be at 71 for this time of year. How about that record high? That's got to be one of the hottest May temperatures, 98, and that was set in 1993. We were at 50 this morning. 48 is our normal low temperature for this time of year, and our record low for the second night in a row from 1985, the freezing mark at 32 degrees. And if you had your garden up back in 1985, 2 consecutive nights of 32 probably did a little bit of damage. Sunrise 5:28 this morning, and it sets tonight at 8:27. Let's get you in now to your Wednesday forecast and look at the temperature change as we get to Wednesday. 70s, Moses Lake and Ephrata, 69 in Quincy, only 67 the high temperature tomorrow in Wenatchee, and that is almost 20 degrees cooler than today. 67 Entiat, 68 in Chelan, and only 60 55, the high temperature tomorrow for you folks up in Leavenworth. All right, tonight we do expect mostly cloudy skies. It's mainly from this area of low pressure, and as that moves to the east, this is the low that's going to drag some moisture through our area. We could see some overnight rain showers develop tonight. Low temperatures mid-50s, rain when you get up in the morning, and lots of wind all over eastern Washington. An 80% chance of rain on Wednesday and cooler, as we mentioned. High temperatures only mid to upper 60s tomorrow afternoon. For Thursday, a little better day, not as much wind. We'll see a little more sun too. Mostly sunny for Thursday. The winds probably won't come up until our evening hours Thursday, so not bad with high temperatures near 70, so about a normal day for Thursday. By Friday, mostly cloudy skies and a strong westerly flow moving our way. That's going to kick up those breezy conditions on Friday. It's going to continue to cool us down a little bit too. We're talking only mid-60s for afternoon highs on Friday, and then as we get you into the weekend, there it is, right over us. More windy conditions. We will see plenty of sun on Saturday, but look at the highs, only in the low 60s. That'll be about 10 degrees below where we should be on Saturday, and then things get better. So kind of a mixed bag for the weekend. Sunday, mostly sunny and warmer. We should top off at around 70 degrees Sunday. So that should be a pretty nice day to end the weekend. And then as we get you into the first part of next week on Monday, mostly sunny skies. Great big area of high pressure will control our weather as we get into next week. It will warm up a little bit too, with highs Monday in the low to mid 70s. Let's take a look now at that 7-day forecast, and it's brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. 57 overnight tonight, 80% chance of rain, a wind advisory for tomorrow, 67 the high temperature. A pretty nice day for Thursday, and boy, enjoy it because it will be our nicest day among about 4 or 5 days. 69 for Thursday, breezy, mostly cloudy, and 66 on Friday. Downright windy as we kick off our weekend on Saturday. And look at the temperature, much cooler. A high of 63. Look at the low, 39 overnight on Saturday. And then back to the sunshine as we get you into Sunday and Monday, near 70 Sunday, and low to mid 70s for highs on Monday. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Cade Calvin and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
NCWLIFE Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Welcome back in, everyone. I'm Cade Calvin. Coming up next in sports, we remember a Gonzaga star after tragic news coming from the NBA, plus an update on tennis and much more. Former Gonzaga star and Memphis Grizzlies forward Brandon Clark has died at the age of 29. The Memphis Grizzlies, the NBA, and Clark's agency confirmed the news, though no details about his death were released. Clark spent 7 seasons with the Grizzlies after being selected in the first round of the 2019 NBA draft. Before his professional career, Clark became a household name in the Northwest during his time at Gonzaga University. The forward helped lead the Bulldogs to the Elite Eight during the 2018-2019 season, earning West Coast Conference Defensive Player of the Year honors and becoming one of the most electric players in college basketball. Clark later joined Ja Morant on the NBA All-Rookie team in 2020 and became one of the longest-tenured players in Memphis. In over 7 seasons with the Grizzlies, Clark averaged just over 10 points and 5 rebounds per game. The Grizzlies called Clark an outstanding teammate and an even better person in a statement. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver also released a statement calling Clark a beloved teammate and leader. Brandon Clark was 29 years old.
And Danny, I know that Brandon was a teammate of yours in Memphis. Just devastating news today.
Yeah, my thoughts and prayers go out to his family and the whole organization of Memphis because he was a high energy guy. He always brought in the positivity, the vibes. He did his own music. He was artistic. He was into fashion. Like, he was just one of those kids. And they were a tight-knit group. Like, I was only there for about 6 months. I only got to know him. in a short span, but I always checked in on him. I felt like he was an extended brother. So deeply saddened for the organization, his family, and for him. And whatever he was going through, I always tried to be an outlet for the young kids to talk to. But he was such a great kid, had a lot of energy. He will be dearly missed, and he was very much loved in that community.
A quick update on the Wenatchee Panthers tennis team. The club traveled to West Valley on Saturday and Monday for districts. Assistant coach Chad Raven tells us both the boys and girls placed second overall. Micah Shattuck finished first in singles, advancing to the state tournament. Joyce Hartzig also received a bid to state after placing first in singles. And the combos of Bryn Kaufman and Lauren Diaz-Torres and Nolan Alley and Tevin Hartzig also advanced to state. Congrats to the Wenatchee Panthers, and we'll keep you updated on them as they make their way throughout the state tournament. And coming up in our next NCWLIFE sports block, highlights of the Eastmont Wildcats Big 9 play-in soccer match against the Moses Lake Mavericks. The 10-4-1 Wildcats host the 6-10 Mavs with a trip to the districts hanging in the balance. The Mavs have not had much success against the Cats this season, falling 7-1 in mid-April and again by the same score May 8th. The underdog Moses Lake team will be entering a hostile environment at Wildcat Stadium and will need some magic if they hope to score the upset and get the win. And of course, NCWLIFE will have all the highlights for you. Alrighty, that'll do it for sports. Reporting from Wenatchee, I'm Cade Calvin, NCWLIFE.
Tuesday means the next edition of the Wenatchee World is on its way to your mailbox. Here's what to expect tomorrow from the Wenatchee Valley's local newspaper.
All right, in the next edition of the Wenatchee World, we'll have a preview of our exclusive interview with Grace City Church Pastor Josh McPherson, a profile of best-selling Kashmir author Dan Gemeinhart, and in sports, we have a story on a 17-year-old Wenatchee mountain biker who's aiming for the World Championships this summer. You can read all that and more at WenatcheeWorld.com.
And that will do it for the NCWLIFE Evening News this Tuesday. Remember, if you see news happening, let us know. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. Our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Tune in Monday through Friday at 5, 6, and 10 for the NCW Life Evening News, or go to our website at ncwlife.com, or you can visit us on Facebook. North Central Washington, the NCW Life channel has you covered.